Yogurt on Today, sponsored by Irish Yogurts Clonakilty. Try a spoonful of delicious.
Welcome back to the show. Now, Eunice, the dish you did earlier went down a treat. What have you got up next?
So I'm going to show people how to make brown bread.
Okay.
And we're going to use yogurt to make the brown bread. And we're using lovely
yogurt.
live natural yogurt from Irish Yogurts in Clonakilty. So I feel this time of the year is time of year where people are sort of going back to routine, and it's nice to get something to bake.
Yes.
And this bread is particularly nice. The yogurt makes a lovely, light, fluffy bread.
Yeah.
The yogurt is the live ingredient that works with the bread soda to make the bread rise.
Yeah.
But this bread you can actually slice sort of, you know, almost when it's warm. Like it's kind of a nice resilient bread. And
Yeah, because sometimes you have the bread that you slice and it just kind of crumbles.
Crumbles, absolutely. And
is it the yogurt that
it
makes all the
yogurt,
difference?
and it's great too that you can actually slice and freeze slices in the freezer. So I'll show you how to make it.
Batch cook
Into the freezer, and especially if you're on your own or if you're cooking for somebody else.
Yes.
So very simple recipe. 200 grams of wholemeal flour. Now I go for the roughest flour possible, like a really good coarse flour.
Okay.
Then 200 grams of plain flour. 50 grams of oatmeal. Oatmeal. Now you can use pinhead or just regular porridge oats, which I'm using now.
Okay.
And then...
Is this what kind of gives it a texture within
it gives a nice texture, exactly.
Yeah.
And you could substitute some of the brown flour for bran if you wanted to, you know.
Okay.
So a teaspoon of brown sugar just to sweeten things up a little bit. Again, you could substitute that with a teaspoon of honey. A little pinch of salt for a bit of flavour.
Wow, this is looking very healthy.
A teaspoon of bicarbonate soda, bread soda.
So really the only sweetener you've used there is that little bit of
little teaspoon of sugar, absolutely. And you don't even have to use sugar if you don't want to.
What would you recommend as another type of sweetener?
Honey or maple syrup.
Yeah,
but
syrup.
personally, I prefer a little bit. Like at home, they like a little bit of sweetness, but you don't need to have it, you know.
Yeah.
Now here I'm going to put in 1 egg, so the egg will kind of richen it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then we're putting in 350 grams of yogurt.
Just love this using the yogurt. I would not have thought of that.
No, that's about 300. Is that 350 grams? Is it? Yeah, it's about that.
About that.
I think it's 345.
Yeah.
If we put too much in...
The guys here are expert bakers.
They are, I know this.
And then a little bit of sunflower oil, a tablespoon of sunflower oil. Now, just another little tip. When you're making bread, or when you're baking in general, all your ingredients should be at room temperature. So, because my yogurt is at room temperature, took it out of the fridge about, what's that, studio temperature, which is quite a little bit above.
It's hot in here.
You'll see the bread actually rising nearly before it goes into the oven. You know, you're going to get a lovely...
that's quick rise.
Yeah.
And so tell me, what is this? Is that the yogurt that's...
It's the yogurt. When it's at
that?
room temperature, things start to activate more quickly, you know.
Yes.
And you get a much. I find that you get a much nicer bread when the milk or the yogurt rather is at room temperature.
Okay.
Now,
what if we were to use not just a natural flavour and we were to use something that maybe had berries within?
So what I wouldn't like use a fruit-based yogurt, but Irish yogurts actually have a lovely seed yogurt which would work really well as well.
Lovely. I'd say that would give a really nice texture.
Yeah, or maybe kind of nutty yogurt or something, you know. But their seed yogurt is lovely.
Seed yogurt.
So
I'd like to try that.
this is like sort of a very soft dough. I'm going to pop it in here, and just kind of.
I have to say, Eunice, it doesn't look great right now, if I'm being really honest.
My dough.
Is this going to be a case of, here's one I made earlier?
Yeah.
It's a process.
It's a process. We have to bake it, Emer.
You've got to nurture the brown bread and help it grow.
And then I'm going to sprinkle some oatmeal and pinhead on top.
So is that this?
That's this, yeah. I'm going to pop this in the oven.
Top, okay. So to give it that kind of nice texture on the top, you just sprinkle that.
I sprinkled some seeds on top.
Yeah.
And then when I take it out of the oven, so just about 10 minutes before it's cooked, I take it out of the tin, I pop it back into the oven again.
Okay.
And then, so we want the base to be nice and...
This was the thing. How do you know it's cooked?
You can get that kind of hollow sound in the base.
I can actually hear that.
Yeah?
So a tap on the bottom.
Yeah. Play the drum, and then what I do is then I wrap it in a clean tea towel or this little cloth here because it softens the crust, so the crust doesn't get too hard. Okay, that's another little tip.
That's a nice trick.
And then here, slices up beautifully.
I love
and I put some butter on here. Would you like some jam on yours?
I would, lads. Haha, you aren't getting any. Would you like some?
We're going to get some. Do you like?
I can see over there.
Do you like a soft crust, Johnny?
I do like a soft crust on. Yeah, and the brown bread.
Eunice, he was nodding away here when Eunice was chatting about
I
covering
can
it
see
with
him out of
everything.
the corner of the eyes and the back
Yeah.
of my head. For those
Eunice
kind
had
of
me in a
fellas,
trance. Anytime she talks about food, it's just, I'm in an absolute
You are
trance.
intrigued, aren't you? I
Yeah,
can see
oh.
both of you. The eyes are just
We're loving it.
beaming like
I've never seen
all
two
about the
lads
brown bread.
so obedient while somebody was watching or making bread.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
look at this lad coming in here now with this jersey. with a change of jersey now, Johnny B. What do you think?
I love this. I say this lad, he's going to get his work cut out from in this season. He's outside. I seen him. He was sweeping up
There you go,
outside. He was doing the
Emma,
washing up.
thank
I'd say that jersey was from the last time we won the All-Ireland as well. It's a few seasons ago as well.
This better not affect the taste. No. Manuel.
Oh, but by the way, lads, we're feeding you, but also we're doing a thing all this year. Thank you, Manuel, about rating your plates. So we were getting people at home to send in their pictures of their plates. So somebody sent this one in. Can I see it there?
That's very good.
Eunice, what? Can you rate that plate for us, Eunice?
Where's the rest of it?
That's spuds.
That's
that's it.
potatoes.
But yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Is that not enough for you? Just how
Well,
much do
there's
you
no
eat, June?
colour, is there, Eunice?
There's no colour. There's no butter.
I'd
Eunice,
still be
is there?
starving after that.
Yeah.
Is it a cracker? Is it a classic or a
That's 10 spuds.
clanger? Is it a
It's,
clanger or a classic?
You can't go wrong with spuds, but I'm going to need a bit of meat
Eunice.
or veg in there or
Clanger.
something.
Clanger, okay, we have a clanger.
This is a joke, Eunice. Like, I
Johnny
can't
B,
hear
that's yours. You brought that in.
They were his spuds.
from my own garden.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
My top recipe, sorry, I'm still eating your bread. Top recipe, butter
Butter.
and spuds.
I have to
The
say,
end.
eating brown bread live on television is very tough to talk when you have a mouthful of brown bread.
Do we have another picture? No, we don't.
No,
Okay,
no.
we don't. That was
Well,
so bad.
What do you think of the bread? What do you think of the bread?
So it's a clanger.
Well, after
Absolutely
I said, it's probably a
gorgeous.
clanger,
Isn't it lovely?
And I've never had yogurt bread before now,
Yeah,
but we do
isn't
work.
it lovely? It's actually really tasty. It's
Yeah.
fluffy, and the jam or whatever you've put on
And it
top
rolls
here now
straight
is out of
away.
this world.
Yeah. But come here, did you start baking bread during the lockdown or anything like other people?
Sure, like everyone else, we done the banana bread thing there.
Yeah, how'd you get on with that?
Yeah, look, the missus is lovely at cooking it, I'm good at eating it. It's a good combination.
He always rises before he goes into the oven, anyway.
It's the most important thing is the rice that he.
Oh, you'd have to, but Eunice was saying it there a while ago as well. But how long do you leave it covered in the towel, Eunice, when you take it out?
And when I take it out, I leave it covered for leave it kind of cool down till I can handle it. So about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, and you put it
Yeah.
on one of those wire racks. Is
Yeah,
that
I have it on the wire rack there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are to freeze it, how long would you leave it in the freezer and it still be okay? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, if it's wrapped up properly, it should be fine. The freezer, like in a little clear plastic
Months?
bag. Well, generally we did say like 6 months is maximum. The freezer.
6 months
Yeah,
maximum.
Yeah.
I like
months.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we
if you do a
shouldn't-
batch cook, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
throw it in the toaster if from frozen.
Can you do that?
Yeah, you can. And you see, it's great for people who are maybe just, like whilst now I'm cooking for a big family. Well, I was just say last year. Now, like, two of my children are gone off on their travels, so we're cooking for less people all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And there are lots of people like me, or people with small kids that don't eat as much, so they might like to freeze half a loaf and put it away for the end of the week.
Yeah, there you have it. The Johnny's lads, I
Yeah.
tell you, you're going to stay with us, lads, aren't you?
Yeah, we're learning so much here today.
Every
home
day
now.
is a learning day. You're
Maybe
welcome.
The mystery
Eunice.
gods when we get home. Like, yeah.
Eunice, that was fab. Thank you so much. Everybody really enjoyed it. So if you would like to try today's recipe, then go to rte.ie/food, where you can get all of the details.
Food on Today, sponsored by Irish Yogurt's Clonakilty. Try a spoonful of delicious.